Yo. What's up, chat? What is up, everyone? Gonna do a little bit of Among Us theory and strategy with Jorbs. Oh yeah, baby. I don't know exactly where the conversation is going to go. I think he has some games that he wants to look over specifically. We'll see what happens. Game theory. Exactly. Should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Theory crafting. Talking about possibilities. The best way to play the game. Well, bearing in mind that that changes depending on who you're playing against, but we'll figure it out. I think he's oh. Yo.
Hello, I shared you a thing.
Yep, it's working. Perfect. All right, let's get to...
Okay. Hi Yeti stream. Hi my stream. This is Yeti. I'm Jorbs. The preview to save your... is this morning or afternoon or evening for you, Yeti?
This would be afternoon for me. It's about 3.
I think it's late evening for me right now, but I can never tell. I'm in Pacific time zone as well, but it doesn't matter. Degenerate gamer hours.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
I have one fairly ridiculous game that I thought would be fun to look at together.
Sounds like fun.
It's actually, my perspective's not the really fun perspective in this one. It's other people doing ludicrous things and I die fairly early, but it's still just such a treasure. I don't know. I'm hoping that you have one or two good ones as well.
I have a couple games we could go over. One of them specifically is probably a good example of what to do when you get caught doing something. Should be a lot of fun.
Sweet. Yeah, one of the things that I'm working on most is trying to work out how to play as imposter when people are suspicious of me. Because, I mean, most of the time you're imposter, people are suspicious of you, right? But
yeah,
it's difficult to work out what plays you can and cannot make with the different amounts of suspicion that are on you. Anyway, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna press play. Do you have?
I guess we'll watch together or something.
Screen captured, so you're watching on your stream as well?
Yeah, I think I'm watching everything that you're showing to me right now.
Okay, I need to, I guess, put the spreadsheet up as well, because this is a spreadsheet stream. And then I can just press play and we can play through and probably pause in the meeting and stuff. I don't know. We'll work it out. It'll be sweet.
Perfect. So, chat.
So this is a game that I played with my Magic the Gathering stack. It's a bunch of MTG pros, and recently Scott Seaver, who's a professional poker player, has been joining us, and he just gets way out of line, and it's really fun. He's been trying to do more and more ludicrous things every night that he plays with us, and this was definitely one of those games.
Sounds like something a poker player would go for.
Like, a lot of us that play all the time kind of know that.
Let me know if you're getting audio too.
I'm getting audio.
I'm using the word differently than you. I think it was a lot of time spent on not gaining information that didn't
Let's
actually.
play this game now, guys.
Yeah.
what it's worth, that game pointed out to me how.
And we're tilting off from last
snap
game, of
voting
course.
can be strategic.
Oh, okay, so this is just like the post discussion from the previous one.
Yeah. Though this is day one, I did a task that I'm not gonna die at and went to specimen, where I'm also hopefully not gonna die. I always feel okay about dying in specimen day one because I feel like it's pretty transparent who killed me.
Yeah, as a general rule, it's a good place to die. Other good place would probably be on the vital sign, but can't have everything.
Those are probably the two main places that I die. Yeah. Wonder why I didn't check admin panel there. Seems like I should have.
Feels like checking admin panel this early is almost redundant.
I guess I know mostly where people are just from seeing them leave the dropship.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of extra time, and also because you're so close to the vent, it leaves you a little bit open. Running by is typically a safer option.
I never know how defensively to path as crew on day one. I generally don't like to group with two other people, both because I think it makes the game less fun, and because if I normally do that, then anytime I'm an imposter, I'm sort of
Instantly
sort
sussed.
of obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about developing patterns that are not super super obvious. So you know what you're doing, but people don't necessarily know what you're going to do with it.
Sure. Yeah, I think I end up basically completing every task on the
Wow,
map on day one here.
Yeah, this is a crazy route you got going on. You're going all the way around. You made a full loop, except for going to O2.
Cool jets, the cool jets of death hovering through the door. Okay, so that was all of day one. Did you have anything that struck you as worth talking about before we get into the first meeting?
Regarding the play, I don't see anything wrong with what you did. The only issue I would probably have is that as a whole, you probably only saw 2 people, so your overall alibi is you have to establish yourself in places where hopefully the body is not, and that's going to be hard for you. Unless, you just never happen to be there, in which case maybe you can use, did anyone ever see me near there? And then maybe they didn't. That's all you got.
Well, not many people saw me in general. I think I saw Sam on the card swipe, and I saw Cool Jets at the very end, and I did not see many other people.
Yeah, the only good thing is that if you're inside of Decontam, maybe if the body's not near Medbay, they won't suss you for that. That's all I got.
Alright. Meeting time.
Is this an O2?
Can I turn up the volume?
It is.
Hey, Phil.
There we go.
I just left Scott and Keaton on water wheels.
Hey, Scott.
Wow. Wow. You're really going to do this?
Meta?
I left Sam and Scott in O2, so someone's in there.
Is the audio okay for you? It's sort of quiet on my end.
I turned it up
Is
a
it
little
okay for
bit
you?
on the screen share. It's pretty quiet, but I don't think we can really change it that much anymore.
Let me make sure it's all the way up on my end. I mean,
Where's the chat?
okay. We're going to roll with that, and hopefully it works. As long as you can make out what people are saying.
Yeah, I can definitely hear it clearly. My chat might not be able to as well, but it's fine.
Okay.
I
You'll be
would
fine,
really
Chad.
like Scott
You'll be
to
fine.
make his defense before 30 seconds of thinking.
No, I literally don't even know what to say. All 3 of us were together. I didn't even see how it died, and there's a corpse here, and I don't even see Sam anywhere.
So I came down from O2 and I came down from Tree and reported a body in the doorway to Water Wheels. Platypus left before me, and I'm glad Platypus spoke up because I didn't remember for sure who was in the room with me. But Platypus is who I thought it was. So from my perspective, this easily could have been Platypus, especially if a bunch of people knew there were other people in Water Wheels, and because Platypus wouldn't have had that information. And so
Sam, do you have eyes on Scott right now?
No.
3
Scott,
of
where
us.
are you?
I am literally in weapons right now, which also makes me more sus, I guess. But literally 3 of us were together. We started walking. I'm
Yeah.
gone. This gets reported, and I've never seen Sam.
Okay.
I saw the large
Also-
clump of people at the start of the game as well, because I
Yeah,
started on the
Phil
Hmm.
was
O2
just
side.
Way
walking up
after that.
through electrical from O2. Scott is saying he is in
I walked to
weapons.
weapons
I think it's
from
one of the
O2,
two, and I'm
and
skipping.
I haven't seen them.
From my perspective, Platypus seems most likely. If a bunch of other people knew they were together, because Platypus didn't know that other people
Sam,
knew.
Platypus was with me at the left reactor when Phil was walking up after reactor was cleared. Phil would have seen a body if it was there before he started walking up.
So the
I
interesting
didn't say a
thing.
word in that meeting.
Yeah, I noticed. The interesting thing that stands out to me for this moment is that I guess there is one problem with your route, which is that because you interacted with so few people going for tasks completely, your ability to like contribute to this conversation like at all has pretty much been cut to zero. And that's going to instantly put sus on you the next time when they're thinking about who hasn't been speaking, who's the quiet one trying to slip by. I guess that's a valid type of criticism, but honestly, it's like, what are you supposed to do? You're just trying to finish tasks.
True.
Huh.
What did you think about the meeting in general? I felt like okay. I've watched this back like twice now, and I'm pretty sure that Scott says that there's a body with him and 3 people there, and then at the end of the meeting, it turns out that he's alone in weapons and the body's in like O2 or something. So
Yeah. I got the impression that he was trying to like hard deflect at the very beginning, and then by the end of it, he was just pretending that he was uninvolved at all. That's
Yeah.
what it seemed like to me, but I don't know what's going on in that department, so I would have just had really hard sus on him and Platypus at this point in time.
him and Platypus, not Phil.
No, because was Phil even mentioned in that conversation that often?
Phil was one of the group of 3 who were together, but he was running up to electrical from O2 toward the end of it, so not
Gotcha.
super close to the body at weapons.
Okay. That makes sense.
So we have hard sus on Scott and Platypus. What do you think about... So in a meeting like that, there's one topic of conversation which sort of overshadows everything else in the meeting. We found this one body, there are like 3 people near it.
Mhm.
We're talking all about that for the entire time. We didn't
Yeah.
talk at all about the other body. We didn't talk at all about like, do other people have alibis or suspicions in other places on the map? What
Yeah.
do you think about a meeting that runs like that?
I think that it can be fruitful depending on the amount of information that's actually gathered and distributed during that period of time. Because the thing is, like, a lot of things can happen in a short period of time, and if everything is communicated properly, it can be useful to have a meeting almost solely dedicated to that. What this meeting didn't have is efficient distribution of information. So Scott spent like at least 10 to 15 seconds just sitting there saying, wow, we're really going to do this. And then
Yeah.
other things were communicated afterwards, but it ended up being rehashed like 3 times. Like they had to determine again where Platypus was, which Manny had said twice during the round. And they also had to determine like, it was a really weird conversation line. And the body's location in relation to other people was never really like pushed on. So I feel like it was a pretty inefficient attempt to communicate. If I was in the meeting, I probably would have asked, did anyone see the other person who was dead, blonde? Anyone see them? And then maybe we would have gotten something else out there. But as is, it was very, very one-sided without a lot of communication going on. So right now, for as a third-person observer, all I have right now is that Scott seems sus. That's all I got to go on. And Platypus may or may not be the killer. Who knows?
Sure. One thing that I try to do in a meeting like that to sort of take responsibility for efficient communication of information is when I'm reporting the body, I like sort of give the entire situation report straight away. Just say who seems most suspicious to me based on where I'm at. And I try to get that done in like the first 15 to 20 seconds of the meeting. And then if we need to hear from other people, we hear from other people, and other people in the meeting know enough to know which information they have is relevant.
Yeah. I think that on a purely like information scale, that's like a very effective way of doing it. But there's only one drawback to that, which is communicating your susses. When you communicate susses early in the round, you tend to derail the conversation either intentionally or unintentionally, because that person is either going to want to defend themselves, give their side of the story faster or with a more personal touch. Maybe they immediately do the know you kind of deflection. So when you're in that kind of circumstance, you put out all the information and then let other people draw their own conclusions, and then near the end of the round, you drop well, based off of what we've heard so far, I think that X and X is sus. Plus, your susses could end up being changed based off of information during the discussion time. So if somebody else says something that you're like, oh, whoa, wait, that actually makes a lot of sense why they would be there. Maybe I don't have to be a sus of them anymore. Then that kind of information becomes more efficiently distributed.
Yeah, so at the start of playing Among Us, I would begin with the phrasing like, I think it's pretty likely that Scott made this kill or whatever.
Yeah, that's the
picking on
kind of
Scott for some
language
reason.
that's
That's, like, the
immediately going to
worst
cause
possible, right?
Yeah, that's immediately going to cause chaos in the discussion time. Now, it can be effective if you're imposter. I would actually say that's actually a very powerful tool. As town, typically you want to avoid that unless you're really sure. And if you're really sure, you can use that to actually cover up for your imposter times that you do it, and also to really push the agenda on somebody that you're pretty certain is actually the killer.
Sure. So I've drawn back a lot from it, and I've sort of said instead, I saw Scott near this location recently, so I want to hear from him.
Yeah,
that's what I'd now say instead.
That's definitely the kind of language I like to use as well.
And do you think there's any merit in going all the way off of it? Like, people who are near here who have information can volunteer it? And then, like, if Scott didn't say anything 40 seconds later, you'd be like, hey, Scott, you are near here. Do you want to, like... like, at some point, it starts to look pretty suspicious for Scott not to chime in, right?
Yeah, that's actually a definite way of trying to, like, confirm your own suspicions. And I think that's actually a valuable way of configuring out inside your head who your real susses are and then pushing it at the end of the round. I know that Ludwig likes to do that versus me. He'll have the discussion going for maybe 10 to 30 seconds, and then he'll be like, hey, Yeti, I actually saw you here about 5 seconds ago. Where are you? And I'll be imposter, and I'll be like, shit, he did see me.
Yeah.
And then I'm all of a sudden stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I have to explain why I wasn't chiming in with, hey, I was just at Electric too. You're right. Oops. That was me. Yep. As imposter, generally they want to avoid implicating themselves as much as possible. So if they're staying quiet and there's that kind of location-based question, they will generally not volunteer information without being prompted.
For sure.
Yeah.
What if you're an imposter in that situation? You know, it's a very typical situation, especially in lobbies with players who aren't quite keeping all of the information in their heads, where they're like, I just saw you run away from this body. Go ahead and admit you were here.
Yeah.
But they don't actually say who it is because they're forgotten. You know that spot?
Yeah, I know that spot. You have a couple options there. Depending that this goes into a really meta level of discussion, but the less the player has played, the more likely they are to associate distance from kill with person being the killer. So if I know that I'm playing with, for example, you, Hafu, 5UP, some other very experienced players, I will generally be okay with communicating that I was near, but not, or maybe my actual location. Who knows? Like, I can communicate relatively freely where I actually was, and even though they'll suss me, they won't necessarily want to execute me. But with newer players, people that maybe aren't as experienced with the games, they might just take that as an admission of guilt and try to execute me. It's hard to say. You have to kind of control it based off of who you're talking to and how you're going to communicate where you are. Like, if you just say, I was at weapons, and you know the body's directly outside of weapons, that's a bad play. But if you say, yeah, I had just entered comms from oxygen, maybe you can get away with that against better players, because they'll be like, whoa, so you were actually nearby, and then you can be like, yeah, I think I might have seen X walk by me, and then you can deflect the conversation towards them. But it's a bunch of on-the-fly decisions you have to make about that, because if the body gets discovered like that, obviously you weren't prepared for it.
Right. Yeah, I feel like more and more as I play with more experienced players, it's like somebody saw this body die on vitals 15 seconds ago and you were exactly 15 seconds running away from it. That's the thing that's incriminating.
Yeah, for sure.
Instead of actually being near the body at that point.
I found that in those circumstances, defenses that are relatively meta, such as, well, isn't there a vent right there? Why wouldn't I have just taken that out? You can use those as ways to deflect the conversation a little bit, but once again, it's entirely dependent on who you're talking to.
All right, let's watch day 2 here. Day 2 is when it starts to get weird.
The
I think.
chaos.
The chaos begins. Imposters got 2 kills day 1, which is like a pretty good day 1. 2 kills with no super clear person to eject.
Yeah,
so
plus
Town didn't vote on 8. So
plus pure length of the round means that it could have been one person doing multiple kills, and then you have to realize that like maybe someone that you were with means they're not necessarily like not imposter.
yeah, no Town was able to hard clear at all in the entire meeting. So it's a very good day 1 for imposters.
Very value.
I think it's Honk. I forgot that I said that. No way Honk survives today too, unless she's imposter. Absolutely no way. Plus oxygen kill? Come on. Honk. Get out of here.
Done with all of your tasks.
I just saw Scott. Kill
Oh my.
face.
Okay, I guess you got the report button in. I just saw Phil kill Jorbs. Just straight in front of me, man.
So
This
Maybe
time
he
it's the
thought
two
I
of them, and
could've
it's
seen with the
actually
lights.
not Town on Town.
No, I saw him do it.
Sam, it was never Town on Town. Okay,
So-
go on, guys.
So
Where?
I'm on my way from the node next to lab to lights, and like Jorbs and Scott passed over me. Or like I couldn't tell it was Jorbs. I saw someone and Scott pass over me. I saw a kill animation. I reported. I don't think Scott knew I was on the node.
No. Wow, none of this is true. I was running with Phil because I thought of the sus he wouldn't be able to kill me. We're going into lab. Jorbs was leaving lab. Lights go out, and he just kills him. He just kills him straight there. Like it's the most brazen kill I've ever seen.
I'm gonna pause the meeting halfway through. So we spent 60 seconds of the meeting establishing that it's a 50-50 between these two, basically.
Yeah. And from the imposter perspective, this is actually, in a way, kind of smart, because if you're going to kill in front of the person that's most sus. Typically, this is a strategy you use on Final 4. But using it earlier is not actually that bad.
Especially because they're at 7 now.
Yeah.
So
If you use it on 8,
Town's in
not
a first
good.
spot.
But wait. What's the sabotage that's on? Is it lights? I can't tell.
I think it's like reactor, but it might be lights.
I'm just basing it on the red arrow. I think it's
actually
lights.
Might be lights, yeah.
So in
You're
this
right.
case, this is bad for the imposter because the lights aren't fixed and they can get off the
Ooh,
actual
can
50-50
just
kill.
vote both of them.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it goes. It's
Oh my
interesting.
Gosh. I think our lobby may have missed that lights were off here.
The only
Honk, Sam,
people-
Platypus, how do you
I
feel
told
about
myself
it?
Yeah.
I saw
was
lights.
platypus when I went into admin.
I mean, I feel like we need to decide if we're voting on this because we feel like it's closer in one direction, or if we're skipping because we're on
I mean,
7.
I left the body before Scott yesterday.
I literally
Based
just
on
I thought
Sam
that's the
walking
other
down,
thing from what Molly said.
and the time I saw you, I think it leads me more to believe it's Phil, but that's because I don't know where Scott is. Like, Scott saying he's in weapons doesn't make sense to me. If
Scott?
Phil is saying he left Scott there with the person.
Platypus, did you see Scott? Because we were near weapons.
I don't. think I
Yesterday.
did.
Oh,
Scott's
yesterday? I don't remember yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I shouldn't vote on 7.
You should
Not
all
voting
have
on
seen
7,
me
that's-
walking with
yeah.
Phil the whole time. No, we
Oh
should
my God.
definitely. Okay.
The not voting on 7 is very funny because I think they're definitely not aware of the lights.
What?
Yeah,
Are
I
you
agree.
kidding me?
Fine.
And then Scott got 3 votes anyway. Okay, so number 1 thing from meeting: be aware when you can double vote. You
Yeah.
do lights.
It's very valuable if you especially have a 50-50 on 7 or 8, that if the lights are off, you can definitely run that and get away with it every single time. There's slight danger in doing the double on 6, because if you vote the wrong person first on a 50-50, the imposter can theoretically mess with the lights, and if you don't leave at least one person at the button, it's also possible that the kill cooldown will come off for the other imposter during that period of time.
Yeah, there's definitely those rounds are really interesting with 2 imposters and 3 crew, and the lights are off, and you have to decide how heavily you're flipping switches and stuff. Those
Yep.
are an entire meta game unto themselves.
Yeah, it's an entire other level to work about.
The things that I thought were interesting in this meeting were, 1, we let the two people accusing each other talk for 50 seconds, or 60 seconds actually,
Mhm.
we know at least one of those people is imposter. So we're just giving like at least a quarter of our meeting to an imposter to say
his own accusation. The question is, if you're in that type
Yeah.
of circumstance, what other information can be properly communicated during that round? If it's between two people, there's one kill, and it's been a relatively short round, like what other information can be properly communicated at that point?
Well, I think actually that's a really good question. So what information can like come from outside a 50-50 to help?
Yeah, as town, actually, there's one thing that can come out of this, which is, and this is something that I use to determine the imposters a lot, which is when, during round 1, I didn't hear anyone defend Scott. So I put sus on him, but I didn't think it was actually him. So when somebody defends somebody hard, or even just tries to deflect the conversation away from a topic, you can typically start to draw conclusions about who is on the same team. Now, bear in mind, all the town is on the same team, but they don't trust each other. But the imposters trust each other. So if somebody is moving the conversation in a way that's away from somebody, or if they're trying to say, well, they were doing this, it wasn't very sus, you can draw them together as a duo, or maybe even a trio. And once you have the duos and trios, you can kind of determine in the round of 6 information, or round of 5, who is the most likely duo of actual players. Now, that doesn't work against, like,
Sure.
5-up, but against lower players, then I find all the time that it works.
Yeah, at some point you reach a level where people are not going to pair themselves so
Yeah.
obviously with their imposter partner.
I've
and they
actually found
feel
that
like,
when 5-up votes people randomly and doesn't say he's going to vote them, and I'm sus of him, that I typically think the person that he voted randomly is actually his partner, so they can use that as an explanation for why he's not the imposter if that person gets caught later.
oh, I absolutely do that too.
Yeah, it's an entire
I've done that to
stupid
5-up
level.
recently. All right. After the first 60 seconds, we basically had a lot of conversation about whether we should be voting on 7 or not.
Mhm.
Which basically that question boils down to 1, are the lights on? Which was never actually asked or pointed out at all.
Nope.
So that would have been a good thing to mention. But then also 2, are we significantly pushed in one direction by the testimony that we've heard? And like, did someone sound like they were lying? Did someone's story not make sense?
Yeah.
And something I think is really interesting
Mm.
in this game is trying to work out how much confidence you actually need to be voting on 7 in a spot like this. Do you need like 70% certainty? Is
I would say that
80%?
70 is like the absolute minimum, but reasonably you don't want to be voting unless it's like at least 3 people with high sus of the same person, and they all have alibis that make sense in the context of being crew. I typically don't do it unless I push it myself if I'm the crew personally, right? Because I would love to get that person voted off if I know that they're the killer. But when I'm the other crewmate, when I don't have this type of direct information, I haven't seen the kill happen directly in front of me and I'm pointing fingers, it gets into this weird spot where you kind of don't want to just run it. Because not only can you not trust necessarily the information that's being directly communicated towards you unless they say that they definitely both saw each other kill, which is the best kind of 50-50, because that means that there's no chance for somebody else to somehow be like a vent killer, and then they just start pointing fingers at each other. That's the best situation, but even then, I still don't typically pull the trigger unless I'm the person that witnessed it.
Gotcha. I've noticed more and more as I play in lobbies with more and more experienced players, and especially like you get 4 times as many games in as town than as imposter. So
Yeah.
I feel like people get better and better at town faster than at imposter. I feel like more and more town is winning games where it's like 5v2, or later on where it's like 3v1, where before imposters are winning quite a lot of those. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, in a 5v2, if imposters get 1 kill in the corner and it doesn't get discovered, they just double kill and win from there. But it feels like that doesn't happen very much anymore because so many people are aware of it and watching out.
Yep. It's gotten to the point that in certain lobbies, the win rates of imposter to crew is closer, instead of being a theoretical 70-30 or 20-80, of more being 1 to 9 games. So for every 9 crew wins, it's 1 imposter win. And typically, it's just like they get it down to 6. They vote wrong because the information's bad, and they just barely pull it off. It's like very, very hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I do think that because I'm more and more confident in crew playing well, I'm more and more confident in skipping on 7.
Yeah, I also agree with that. I don't think that skipping on 7 is necessarily something you want to do with very, very green players, because that's the worst possible situation. They're very likely to get picked off. If you're the best player in the lobby, you are all of a sudden like this beacon of hope, and if you are killed, it's very unlikely that they will properly play the game, prevent the sabotage, hit the button, check vitals, do any of the things necessary to actually, even just searching for bodies like on Skeld. You can't trust that. So at 7, I can agree that with green groups, that's definitely something to push for.
All right, cool. Okay, so day 1 was sort of weird. Day 2,
A little crazy.
We got a solid 50-50. Day 3 is where it totally gets fucked up. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I don't know.
You can't 50-50 because
I
if they're
do.
wrong,
I mean, same.
if they're wrong, they immediately lose the game. Oh, I missed that lights were off as well. Bill can just do it again, right? And just kill someone here and say that he saw Scott do the kill. I guess there are other people babysitting. What if they're both imposters? Oh my god, imagine if they were both imposters and they went for this.
Okay,
All right,
like,
this
see,
time
why do we do
I
it?
saw Scott do it.
Why do we do this? Why?
I just figured I'd get a bonus 1 before y'all get me.
This is
Well,
so
Sam
stupid.
and I
It
were
is both of them.
Oh, I just wanted to get a bonus 1.
Oh my
Like,
god,
if
it's
anybody
both of
told me
them.
they were more on like I assumed there was
Monty,
going to be a
come
lot
on.
of skips.
Skipping is so funny. I just get a free kill there. Thank you. Good luck, partner.
I asked the crew. I asked.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. You know what else is crazy?
What?
Like watching this back. That meeting lasted like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was just over. It just poof, it's gone.
Yeah,
That's
didn't talk
actually
about what was going on in the
so
game.
funny. That's actually so funny. That reminds me of I played a game on Mira, and nobody plays on Mira anymore because that map is horrible when you're actually good at town. But I played a game as Mira where on round 1 I had already thrown my imposter partner under the bus super, super hard. Like, it wasn't even just like a light busing. I was like, I'm like 100% certain it's this guy, and nobody voted him because they weren't sure. But I was so clear for the rest of the game, and this is reminding me so much of that. But this is crazy right now. I've never seen this before. I've never seen a 50-50 where either option was correct. That's crazy.
It's really funny too because the lights were off. If people had just realized that the lights were off,
You could have won the game off of that. That would have been
Yeah.
insane. Imagine the gambit like backfiring that hard. But as is, this is already insane. I can't wait to see the rest of this.
All right.
I'm excited for this. This is great.
Hey, no one said
I
this.
said Scott.
I'm excited. Wow. So
This is
Red
incredible. This is my favorite game of the night by like 7 miles.
Red has killed Jorbs and is also an imposter, but he
Oh my
hard
God.
accused a 50-50 with Scott. That is insane to
What
me.
are you looking to do here as Phil? Phalop?
If you're Phil, you want to kill as quickly as possible without possibly being near anybody. That's the most important thing. So right now, your only purpose in life is to kill without anybody seeing you. So, because first and foremost, if you pause, you can look at the bar, and you immediately know that you don't have time. There's no time. You have to get some kills right now. The bar is 1 left. The tasks are going to be done very quickly. You need to kill. You need to consider self-reporting because you're already quote unquote in the clear, and then you need to just start throwing people under the bus as quickly as possible. You don't have time to make a lot of decisions. You don't have a lot of time to get the perfect kill. You could even go for stack kills and be hard cleared. So you have a lot of space to work with right now because you got Scott voted off.
Yeah. Or maybe Scott did. Who knows?
Yeah. So I would have gone for that kill 100% of the time. I might have considered
I don't know if
self-reporting,
I'm going
but
for
now that
this.
Monty's going to
Monty's the
report the
right
body, we'll
play
see what
here.
happens.
I don't know if I like any of that.
Sam is in the lab.
Where did Philip go?
I'm in specimen. I've been here for a bit.
Honk, where are you right now?
I followed Philip and Marnie because they were around storage, and then I watched Marnie fill up his canister, I assumed, and then he went into lab, and then there was a body in lab.
Yeah. Honk, where
Yep.
did you go from there? Or where did you come from, actually?
From lab, because I started there this round. Sam refused to go with me, so he backed off.
Where's the
Hmm.
But
body
that's where his
exactly?
body is now.
Where's the body?
It's in lab.
But like where in lab?
It's near, like, the doorway to specimen. I'm
Never
just
went
trying to
that deep
figure out.
into lab.
Is anyone an admin?
I'm at cameras, and I saw.
Cool Jets
Yep.
is on cameras. That is
This is
true.
awesome.
I
I saw
never saw the
Phil-
report button come
This
up.
is what I
so-
saw: Phil, then Sam, then Manny, into labs. I never saw you, Honk.
Oh,
Should have.
So I'm feeling like
Wait.
Phil went into decontam, and then Manny came in after Sam and killed him.
Honk
And
did not
self-reported.
go in
I did.
after I did Honk.
Yes.
It was
Like, you
Phil and
followed me
Scott,
in there?
yeah.
Cool Jets is
I-
saying they didn't see Honk go in.
Cool Jet said I didn't go in, but I think it's you, Money, because I
could've
definitely came
mixed-
in.
That's not the important part. Yeah, the important part is this is a Manny self-report.
It's
I-
not. It's 100% not. Holy shit.
Why would you
please.
go to storage and not do the canister, though?
Because I saw somebody heading that way and I wanted to check if there was a body. Holy shit. Please skip. Do not vote me out. Please do not
I'm
vote
down
me
to kill
out.
him out of here. That's fine.
Oh my god, it's Phil. Oh my god, it's Phil. Please
It's
do
not
not
Phil.
vote me out.
Phil's the one who got
I'm
Scott.
part there. I killed Scott.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It's both of them. Holy shit.
That's so funny that he comes
Alright.
to the realization there.
Yeah,
That's
in the
so
last
fucking
5
funny.
seconds.
That's actually so funny. But here's the reason that you have to consider doing a more brazen kill. You can't rely on that kind of town misinformation. Like holy cow.
Right.
He just completely miscommunicated what was actually going on in the order of people walking in. And now Honk, who was relatively close to him, is like convinced that somehow Mani actually did this. It's like a lot of assumptions being thrown around there. I would have probably frozen and been like, we have 1 bar left. Let's skip on 4, even though I'm 90% certain it's Mani, and then we'll just figure out where to go from here. But as is, that's so funny.
Phil went silent for like 90 seconds or something in that meeting, and then with 10 seconds left, just said, "I'm down to shoot
Yep.
Monty."
I was in specimen, smiley face.
Yeah. Oh. What do you think about the like almost emotional appeal, confident call to arms sorts of statements with 10 seconds left in meetings? I feel like they are very powerful.
They're actually broken if nothing of really value has been spoken during a meeting. It's insane how strong it is, because when you use that kind of like last second, I haven't been sussed, I'm a strong crewmate, I'm going to say, let's just vote this guy now. Everybody might just jump on that bus, even if they're good players themselves, because they don't know what's going on and they're kind of down to kill. You never know. It's only when you have a very strong town or imposter that's saying, wait, no, skip, that it doesn't work. And then it's kind of like it's typically just a skip lobby at that point.
Yeah.
I found that Hafu, as imposter, is able to do this on 7, where she can actually say, I'm down to kill X at 5 to 10 seconds left, and if the town doesn't have someone like anybody actually that just says skip on 7, they will vote with her, because they're sheep, ultimately. Everyone's a sheep if they're not given good enough instruction. Even I am. I'm so down to shoot on 8. If somebody calls me to shoot on 8, depending on the information that's been given to me, I'm almost always down to shoot. And that's like good and bad. I just know that voting more is typically good, and from there we can determine more information at that point.
Sure. Voting more is typically good. So I see 2 sides to this. Side number 1 is the only way that you kill imposters is by voting them out. You
Yep.
can't kill them during the day, so town has to vote in order to win. Unless you're
Yes.
going to win on task with 2 imposters left alive, which is just sort of nonsense. But the flip side, and this is the problem with what we're talking about right now with sheep voting at the end of meetings, is that there are 2 imposters in the meeting with you. They know that they are imposters.
Yep.
And they aren't going to let you easily vote for one of them. And so if you're doing like messy voting, you're way more likely to successfully vote for a town than to successfully vote for an imposter, just because there are going to be two people pushing back on you.
True.
If you're voting for an imposter.
I've actually found over time that when you do that kind of sheep vote and they immediately respond in a negative way, you can kind of determine they're a town, because imposters will just be more in shock than outrage. But that's like that's like a little meta, and it doesn't work with everyone.
Sure. So you can also pick up an emotional tell from people.
Yeah.
And
Actually,
picking up emotional
do
tells
you know about
is
the rule
like-
of threes?
The rule of threes. What's the rule of threes?
So in Mafia, which is something that 5UP has played thousands and thousands of hours of, and he's talked to me about it, there's this concept called the rule of threes, where when somebody asks you who you think it is, or who you think is safe, you will give out 3 names, and your imposter partner will be in that 3-name trio. It puts a little bit of wrench in someone's plans. So you'll say, I think that XQC, Trainwrecks, and Jelly Peanut are safe, and Jelly Peanut is his partner. But because he also said that 2 other people are safe, it's a bit confusing for the town, because they may or may not have preconceived notions about that as well. So I actually like to use that myself, but I do it by questioning directly. So if I'm getting ready to initiate a sheep vote on somebody on 8, I will ask the person I'm about to vote who they think the imposter is, or the imposter duo is. And then depending on who they name, I can be much more certain about who I wanted to shoot out the airlock. It's just another level of like questioning that can lead to implications for their imposter duo.
Sure. Is that so? When you are responding to the question, who do you think is suspicious?
Yeah.
And you are town?
Yes.
Are you also giving 3 answers?
Yes, typically. But depending on how certain, depending on how certain I am, I will actually just name one person. It's a bit of a coin flip ultimately, right? Because an inexperienced imposter player might just say, I think that my imposter partner is safe. But a very experienced one might say that my imposter partner is actually guilty, and then also this guy. And then you have to try to figure out between these two who that is.
Yeah, and I imagine that as you get to a stage in the game where there are fewer and fewer people alive, it starts to get more and more down to, you know, I think 2 of you are hard clear town, and that other person's the imposter. It's not me. Like, at some point, you just have to be saying that.
Yep, that's the only way you can play it at that point. But early on in the game, there's a lot of leeway with where you can go with that. Also, you'll notice that with 5UP, a big tell of his is when he uses the rule of 3, names out 3 people, and then later, the next round, hard accuses one of the 3 people he thinks is safe. Like, about 80% of the time when he does that, maybe close to 90% of the time, he's playing imposter and is trying to... Well, he's basically hoping that nobody remembers that he thought they were safe the round before.
Oh, yeah. No, I know this about 5UP. 5UP's very good at using information in a way that appears logical and is logical when he is crew, but isn't logical when he is imposter.
Yeah. When do you know of Four Connor? He's one of the people that we play. Yeah. He has this thing called his int list, and on the int list it says 5UP. Poetry comes out of his mouth, but it's nothing but bullshit. Kill immediately.
Yeah. No, I see that. I don't know. It's incredible because I can see 5UP doing that and then it works. Like,
oh yeah, it's definitely a way that he plays imposter. He'll typically just start off the next round as saying, "Yeah, it's X," and then you'll be like, "Wait, didn't you just clear X the round before?" But nobody ever asks that question. They're just like, "Oh shit, yeah, it's probably that guy, the guy that 5UP cleared the round before."
Gotcha. All right.
GG.
We can watch the triumphant conclusion to this one.
This is so fun. I actually love this strategy. It's not even like quote unquote good, but against a really good lobby, I would do this because why the fuck not?
There's definitely an over reliance on hard clearing people who get an imposter out.
Yeah,
I think. Even in
that's so funny.
Even in the tougher
oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's such a good game. Oh my gosh.
There.
It was, yeah, I don't know. There's so many beautiful things about that. Scott told me that he wanted to do that the night before. So the fact that I was the person that he killed in the round where he hard pushed into 50-50 with his other imposter partner was like very apropos. And then the fact that Mani like says, "Oh my god, it's both of them," as he's thrown into the lava is just so beautiful.
That was just fantastic.
All right. You got a game for me? Do you have anything else you want to comment on this game about, I guess, before we leave it?
I think that strategy is actually very useful because at a certain level of play, they start to suss out the imposters early enough that if you do that early enough in the game, you might be able to get away with it and just be scot-free for the rest of time, frankly. I'm going to try to find one game in particular that, from my perspective as imposter, that I thought was just really funny.
Sweet.
Let's see if I can find this.
I'll give you a sec to do that. I'm going to say hi to my chat because I haven't looked at it for an hour.
Let me make sure this is actually the game. 1 second, chat. Nope, this is not the game. Where is it? Problem is that this VOD is so big, I don't know exactly where it is. Does anyone know exactly where the XQC game is, where he saw me vent, and then I got away with it? I want to use that one if possible. Let me see. Maybe this is it? Let's check real quick. This might be it. Nope, this is not it. Not it. You send me the timestamp? Can you hit me with the timestamp? If possible? XQC was yellow, I was blue. True. I don't know where this one went. I'd like to find it right now if possible. I thought this was it, but for some reason I don't think it is. We'll figure it out soon. 11 hours, 8 minutes. So this might be it. This is it.
Oh, I just took away my screen share, which may have messed up your stream. I probably shouldn't have done that.
Gifted subs, and so I
without
literally
warning
wasn't paying
first.
attention until the end.
I think I found the game. This one's
Sweet.
fun. This one's really fun. I get away with something that I should never get away with ever. It's not nearly as fun as that one. That one's like a once in a like maybe month experience kind of thing. All right, let's get rid of this.
All right, I'm gonna
Share my screen.
Yeah, just screen share it to me when it's ready, and I will throw it up.
Yep. Okay, this should be it. Do you have it ready?
I am, I think, good to go. Yeah.
Perfect.
Again.
Honestly, I think we're about everybody who wasn't accounted for that round. To be honest.
That was good.
I don't think I'm getting audio from it though.
Check the screen share real quick and make sure that it's not muted before we go any further.
The screen share is not muted.
Okay, so it should communicate everything that's happening here, but... Can you hear anything? Like, any of the background
I
noise?
only hear your voice. I don't hear background noise.
You have to share my audio as well. Okay, one second. Chat's trying to communicate with me here. So... How do I do that?
Chat's trying to communicate with me. It sounds like a...
How do I communicate my audio as well,
like
chat?
A seance.
SSA. Option in this on the share screen. Okay. Let's try that real quick. Messages. No, that's not it. Right here. Chat, I don't see it anywhere. When you share your screen, you'll see an option. Okay, let's try to restart it then. Okay. Okay, let's see if you have the volume now.
Everybody who wasn't accounted for that round.
Yeah, that was good.
Can you hear it?
No, I don't think so. Go to a meeting real quick, just in case like the game sounds are too quiet. But I am able to hear.
It wasn't the entire game, but there's only
It's
one
one
kill,
kill.
so
Yeah, it's only one kill.
don't full clear yet. No
I'm
full
worried
clear.
about that.
That's actually why I think it's XQC.
Can you hear it now?
Nope, it's not playing now, right?
Because
Nah.
That doesn't make sense. No, that does not make sense. No?
Nope.
Okay.
Make sure it's not on my end somehow. But it couldn't be, right? Because I can hear your voice through Discord.
Yeah, it should definitely be on my end. It's something to do... Chat's trying to communicate with me that it's something, some sort of audio thing when I'm sharing my screen.
If you right-click on your screen share...
I actually don't see any options for turning on audio. That's my big problem here.
Are you sharing a screen with me or sharing an application with me?
Screen. Is application better?
If you did share an application, it might work. I don't know if it's better or not, but I was sharing an application with you.
Audio sharing may not work on your Windows version. Please upgrade to the latest Windows 10.
Oh,
wow.
No.
That's not something I expected.
What are you at, like 95?
I don't know. I'm on
XP
Windows.
Was the greatest.
I'm on Windows 10. Is it possible for you to just watch my stream?
Yes, I can do that.
Yeah, we'll just do that, and then I'll wait to make sure that everything's
sure.
working.
Just send me a link.
All right. There we go.
All
right.
So I'm just gonna be a couple of seconds behind you because of,
Yeah, because of the delay.
Oh, also I won't be able to
subs,
speak
and so I literally wasn't paying attention.
I hear myself speaking. I'm going to stop speaking now. That's messing me up. Yeah.
Well, I'll just make sure to pause every single time you speak.
Until the end.
Honestly, I think we're about to everybody who wasn't accounted for that round.
Yeah, that was good.
So I guess the best way to do this is probably for me to talk to you while the round's going on, and then I'll pause intermittently to get input. So I'm not sure if I did this sabotage or not, but so typically as imposter I should probably just get that kill because Swizny's kind of free, but as is it's fine.
Just send him the VOD numpty.
So,
Okay.
what do you think of that one right now?
So, did you actually go in the vent there, or
I did,
you
but let's
just...
replay it real quick. One second.
I saw you vent. GG. Hit him out.
I did get into the vent, but I misclicked a button, and instead of entering the vent, I opened up my imposter screen, and I wasn't able to actually enter the vent until way later.
So you are presumably, I mean, from my perspective, my assumption of what could reasonably happen from here is that you are at best in a 50-50 with XQC.
Yes, that's what should be happening here, right?
Okay.
That's definitely
But
what
something else is
should
going
be
to
happening
happen, is
here.
it?
Let's go through this discussion period real quick.
Okay, just a second.
Who is it?
Who?
I saw you vent. Come on,
I'm
man.
good to go.
He's trying to bait.
I have a feeling whoever it is, I think I know who it is too, and
Who's-
they're gonna get double pinned.
Okay, so whoever it is, I'm pretty sure Bloody is second killer.
Wait, why?
Because you're acting so weird above. It's like you know
It's
something's
because
down there. and there's a
I saw
body.
you running from up top, so I was checking to see if there's a body up there because I don't know why anyone would
So
run
this
from
is
up top.
not Yeti.
Nope.
McConnell. It's not me. And somebody just hopped in the vent right in front of me, and he had like dark pants. Also, I was trying to get him, but I didn't see him entirely. But he went melee range while I hopped in the
Where
vent.
were you?
Which vent invented to where?
Navigation, upper vent.
Oh. Never mind. I don't have good info for
I'm
it.
guessing the second body is right under it, and it's Bloody's kill.
No.
But
Wait.
Swizz, where you at?
Sounds good to me.
Cafeteria.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not.
I am.
Well, I switched the place before we went there. Wait, what? Easy one, where you at?
I'm on cams right now.
Can we
Wait,
have that?
what?
I just went in cams. I didn't get on the cams, but I'm in camera room right now.
Okay.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Plus, you literally walked right, and I went left.
There's no way you made it to cams. Really?
I
Okay,
am
wait,
in
wait,
camera
anyway,
room right
yeah.
now. That's
Bro,
so
I'm
dumb.
at Shields. I came from
You know
admin.
what? There's no way. I'm not gonna fall for this shit right now. I can't deal with it. Blasphemous, where you at right now?
Wait, are you saying my
I'm
story
walking
is
up
no
through.
way?
I'm walking up through storage, coming away from electric. I just don't know if Easy Rod could have made it
It's
to the
just
cams.
Annie and Bloody. It has to be.
All right,
No,
I'm gonna vote Bloody
it's
first.
not me.
I'm voting Bloody
I
first.
walked through
I'm
admin. I
skipping.
saw
I'm
two
voting Annie
people
first,
there.
actually.
Oh,
No,
really?
no,
I'm
no, no,
skipping.
no, you're
This makes
not.
no sense.
No.
Okay, Bloody
You
is
gotta-
doing
you gotta remember that
circles.
I walked through
XQC
admin. I saw two people there.
I'm telling you, you guys are okay.
Holy shit. Yeah, so that was fantastic.
All right, that was one of the craziest meetings that I've ever watched. Did he ask you where you were?
No, he didn't. He just cleared me. And I was like, it can't be Yeti. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally clear,
Yes.
man.
He asked one imposter and 4 different town where they were, and then told them all that they were wrong.
Yep. It was just fantastic. It was one of the greatest meeting dominations I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm just sitting back like...
If he were imposter right now, like, wow. He can just
Yeah.
walk up to navigation, kill someone, say someone vented but he didn't see them, accuse 5 different town,
and then get
tell them
and then
their
a vote.
alibis are wrong, and and then kill one of them.
That's actually the number one thing you have to fight against when you're playing with XQC in your lobby. It's not that he dominates people that have lower view counts, which I think is the live stream fail explanation for what goes on, but rather that he dominates people that don't have strong personalities. So for me specifically, when I'm playing as Town, I need to fight him on everything, just in case he's wrong, because it's so hard to figure out whether or not he's doing his typical, like, I'm going to clear 5 people and then vote one person and then everyone's going to sheep vote. You have to fight against that all the time against him. It makes him a very dangerous player to play into, actually.
Right. The thing that I say with this is that there are people where I can't tell if they are second or third imposter. It's just unclear to me, and so almost everything they say I have to fight against.
Yep. You'll also find that when he's playing as Town, I'm not joking. He will eventually accuse almost everyone in the town. It will just go down the list, and everyone will be accused, and he uses social cues to eventually determine who's likely the most sus person, in addition to all the other sweaty stuff that he does. So it's very hard to play into as an imposter. I was shell-shocked that I got away with that.
What is the best way to respond to a nonsense accusation as an imposter?
A nonsense accusation as the imposter?
Someone just accusing you of something when there's actually no evidence at all that you did it.
Well, I've actually have to work on this, but I know the theory of what I'm supposed to do. In theory, the best thing that you can do is to deny it without using any imposter words. Like saying, I didn't vent is bad. Do not say that. I didn't vent means that you have access to the vent button. Even though a lot of people don't call you out for that, it's actually a very big tell. Also saying, I didn't kill, there's no way. Instead, you use language like, I was inside of reactor doing my task. I was nowhere near there. What do you mean? And then you use other things like mini meta discussions aren't a super bad way of saying it. Like 5UP uses that occasionally to try to get his way out of certain things, like saying, I wouldn't kill right there. I'm right next to the body. Or why wouldn't I just vent away if I was imposter, you know? Those kind of arguments that where you hard deflect the conversation in a direction from like, this is obviously someone else. How could it possibly be me? Are also effective ways of getting sus off of yourself. But the number one thing you want to avoid is saying, I didn't kill or I didn't vent. Never say that, because that is the number one way of finding somebody who's imposter, but maybe didn't do those things, but definitely is imposter.
Something I massively pick up on, I don't never from you or from people who are super experienced, but I pick up from newer players. They'll have this fairly structured alibi. Like, they'll actually remember more about the tasks they did than seems reasonable as crew. As
True.
Crew, I'm not thinking that much about which tasks I do, right? I'm just clicking on them.
Yeah.
And then around the time that the kill happened, there will be a gap for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with that.
Very vague about that. And then, for the rest of the round, they tell you everything again.
Also, in an unironic kind of way, using the no you deflection is not bad as imposter. When somebody starts to question you like that, say things like, wait, where were you? What do you mean, where was I? Where were you? What were you doing? I didn't see you at all. And then depending on their alibi, you can filibuster the meeting long enough that it goes to a point where people are not confident and have to skip. That's the most important thing as a imposter. You want to get the town feeling like they don't really know what's going on. Even if they have suspicion on you, that doesn't mean they're going to vote you. It's when you try to play it a little bit too hard that they get much more suspicious, and then run it on you, and then you get voted off.
Yeah, I think we talked right toward the beginning of this call about how when you're leading a meeting as town, you don't want to directly accuse people because it sidetracks the meeting so heavily.
And when you're an imposter, you can use that to your advantage and kind of push it against them.
That's that no you deflection, right? I also think I've noticed that strongly making a case for it being someone else is a very powerful thing to do. When you are suspicious, whether you are imposter or town.
Yep.
For some reason, if you make a strong, fairly logical case for somebody else, even if you have suspicion on you, people just sort of believe you. And they like seeing you do it, they trust you more.
True.
Oh yeah, you're suspicious, but town would be thinking this way as well, so you must be town. And it just seems sort of very free.
It's all about creating a logical circumstance by which you can push town to not wanting to vote or to wanting to vote somebody else. The best thing to do would be to not vote at all, because when you vote somebody else, there's a chance that if you get an accidental double kill the next round, they'll know that all of a sudden all of your information was no longer good, and therefore you're in a suspicious place. It's a bunch of questions thrown through the air, because if you get a double kill and the person that you sussed the previous round is still alive, you can use that as an alibi for why it can't be you or any of that other stuff. But if you get them voted out, maybe the game has to go one of two ways, which is either you get 3 kills the next round, and then you just muddy comms and hopefully get people to vote the wrong direction or something along those lines.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. If there are 2 imposters in the game, those 2 people will presumably be suspicious at some point.
Mhm.
And if you can make a 3rd person suspicious and then not kill them,
yeah,
you don't have to worry about making a 4th person suspicious, because
No.
that 3rd person can be the one that you frame toward the end of the game or whatever.
Yeah. And then in those circumstances, depending on how suspicious you are, that's when you have to consider bussing. That's when you consider bussing your imposter crewmate and say, "Yo, I think it's my imposter duo guy, and then this other guy that we sussed the round before." And then when you effectively throw them under the bus there, you might be able to push the vote towards the person that you were suspicious of the round before, and then get the vote off, and then be like, "We're voting this other guy next. We should win." Boom, double kill. Easy win.
Have you ever successfully done the thing where there are 3 suspicious people and 2 of them fight, and then some incredibly logical town person says, "Well, those 2 people clearly aren't in the team, so we should actually vote for the 3rd person who's suspicious,
Yes.
who must be imposter." Have you ever
All
successfully done
the
that
time.
where you're the imposter pair fighting?
Yes. Oh wait, what was imposter pair? Ooh, we've done
you
that.
Are the imposter pair fighting, and
Yes.
you get the crew.
That
vote
was the
off that
game.
way.
I asked my chat about this earlier. I want them to find it. It was the game I played on Mira, where I actually threw my imposter partner under the bus so hard that when we got him voted out, we got the other person voted out as well. They still voted him at the end of the day, but we got both thrown out because of the argument I had with my imposter duo, and then I was supposedly cleared for the rest of the game.
Nice.
It doesn't. I have never had a circumstance where both imposters fight so hard against each other that we managed to get the 3rd person that's suspicious somehow thrown out. I feel like that's like a really strong strat, and I kind of want to do that at some point, but I haven't managed to pull it off yet.
You need the right town in the lobby because they have to be able to make that deduction.
Yeah.
If you are not on a team, then that 3rd person who isn't saying anything is clearly teamed with whichever one of you is imposter.
Yeah, I actually think that XQC is one of the best people to do that against because he looks into that all the time. He loves to find people that are supporting each other and then kind of suss both out at the same time. All right, let's go. Let's keep playing it. This next round is pretty boring, but there's something interesting that happens at the end of it. Still can't believe I got away with that.
Oh my god. I fucked up the vent too, and he just didn't know it was me. That's really fucking funny.
So right here, I'm considering how I'm going to. I shouldn't use the Discord. I'll just speak on stream so that you can hear me without hearing the double. Right now, I'm considering how I should play this, which is like, do I get a huge alibi and let Easy get a kill? Because I'm not really sure what's happening around the map right now. I'm thinking to myself, like, do I go for kills? Do I just wander around? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just faking tasks, hoping that if I find somebody in a lone area, I might be able to get something off. Oh, and then this. Yeah, never mind. This is actually really funny.
Hopefully Easy's just getting fucking crazy stacks right now, because otherwise I don't know how we're gonna win this.
Alright. Where's it at?
So, that round I was in kind of a weird spot, because I wanted to kill McConnell, who's Eat My Coom. He's a camera guy that basically doesn't do anything but watch cameras, and he gets at least one person to stack with him, which makes it very difficult to kill him. And when you have camera access, it's very hard to get good kills. But what I was doing at the medbay side was I was pretending like I was looking for venters, basically to determine if anybody was venting from one side, and I knew that people would see me doing that, and they'd question me, but ultimately that would make me seem more town in the eyes of XQC, who is the most important person for me right now to not piss off, because if he thinks it's me, the town could sheep vote me. That's my current logic.
Sure. Do you have any thought to, like, XQC said that I had dark pants on in round 1. He may know that it is me at the end of round 2 just by looking at my pants.
But I actually observed something during this round, and it ended up being true. I saw that Bloody, one of the people that he was hard accusing the previous round, was just following him around the entire time. So I wanted to see how he would like process that in this meeting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this meeting's fun.
That's very much a Bloody play, and it doesn't necessarily always go great.
Oh, let me tell you, Bloody makes this really fun. Let's just watch this.
It's in cams.
Well, it's not bloody. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm gonna be very clear.
Cams were on.
This should not have been event kill based off of the timings that I had.
So, Yeti, what were you doing down there? It looked like you were running into the bottom wall in med.
I was, because I was vent camping from cameras and electrical.
Vent camping, Andy. Also, anybody seen Swizz in the area bottom?
No, I haven't seen him.
I've seen him coming out of electric earlier.
Yeah, so me and Easy, we went towards lights from cafeteria. Cams were on then. Then I went towards admin, and now I'm in admin with I don't know who was there, but yeah, I've not been near cams.
So where's this bunny?
I'm in admin right now.
Again?
Apparently, it's in cams.
It's in cams where McConnell's camping.
Yeti, I think you were the last person to reach lights. No?
I was.
Why did it take you so long?
Yeti, did you go left or right?
I went right out of her.
Or okay.
Annie, where are you?
I fixed lights both times.
I saw her as I was coming in. I didn't see her prior to that. What direction did you come from, Annie? Did you come from the left or the right?
I also
came from reactor earlier. I know that she was doing Simon Says.
I did Simon Says, indeed.
Okay. Wait. Can we go off of the previous sus? Bloody, where have you been?
I have been on top of XQC.
It was the entire game, but there's only one kill, so don't full clear yet. No,
I'm worried about that.
That's actually why I think it's XQC, because
nah,
that doesn't make sense. No, that does not make sense.
You didn't kill anybody.
You're not gonna get
voted. I still think it's Annie and Bloody, but I'm
not trying to vote you out.
You'd be insane to get him voted there.
I'm not trying to vote anybody.
I don't think we vote here. My only
7.
I think it's still Annie, but I'm not sure about the other one at this point because it might not be Bloody.
It's not
my only info I can give is I checked on Yeti and Med. He was in there, so that's confirmed.
Yeah, he's vent camping.
I left, and then I actually went up and did tasks at the top of cafeteria, came down to admin, and I saw XQC Bloody together. I don't have any info besides that. Nothing good.
I'm so glad that McConnell's dead, dude. McConnell being dead is so important for everything to happen. Fun stuff. So Bloody following XQC around for some reason made her sus of XQC, which is insane to me. Like, I couldn't believe that that's the direction that the conversation went.
Yeah, I feel like where was the deduction in that meeting?
I don't think there was any. And as imposter, I'm just sitting there like basking in all of the radiance of not having to worry about like deflecting what's going on, redirecting the conversation. I just got to listen to literally nothing happen.
Yeah, I think you did a very good job of you were given an opportunity to like self-incriminate basically by being asked what you were doing, and you took your like slot in the conversation to ask other people questions that were basically meaningless for 30 seconds.
It was fantastic. And those questions might not be meaningless in a future crew game, which is the really fun part for me.
Sure.
But as imposter, it's so meaningless to ask those questions. Like
Yeah, if you were genuinely trying to determine who killed at cameras.
But I had no interest at all in determining, because I knew it was a self-report.
Yeah.
So asking those
an
questions.
Self-report?
I think it definitely was. I never watched his perspective afterwards, but I'm pretty sure he walked in. He was like, maybe there was somebody else that was somewhat nearby. He killed and immediately self-reported. It put him in a good spot, though, because he killed the least sus person out of everybody, because McConnell's just on cams. So he hasn't done anything the entire game. Nobody's going to have any suspicion on him the entire period of time. And the fact that Bloody and Annie were both alive meant that town was still confused. Town never votes on 7 there. Bloody pushing XQC made Town even more convinced that something weird is happening. And it was just the perfect place to be.
Do you think that should work? The thing where he just walked into the camera room, killed the person, and reported the body, and like no one was like, "Did you just do that?" It doesn't seem like it should work, but it does.
I think it's a bit dependent on where the body is. Like, if the body's directly on cameras because he was on cameras and he died from a vent kill, that's actually a bad thing to do, to self-report that quickly, because the cams will go off and then, or they'll be on, and someone will perceive the camera was on until the millisecond of the self-report.
Right.
But if you walk into there and McConnell gets off of cams, you kill, wait 1 second, and then self-report, you have a logical way of saying, I walked into cams, the doors were closed, and the body was on the cameras. And then people can think to themselves, vent kill. Perfect.
Although you were watching vents.
Mm-hmm. But I had already gotten off events at that point, so thankfully he didn't die early enough in the round that me camping vents was valuable, so it was okay.
Fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always very awkward when I take an information role as imposter, and then I like see the other imposter kill on cams, and then the meeting starts, and someone's like, "Hey, who's on cams? Did you see this kill?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just got off them 5 seconds ago, actually."
I found that
Kappa.
when you play when you play a very powerful information role like the camera, you can't afford to be on it as imposter for that long. So at the most you do 10 to 15 seconds, more or less to get sus off of yourself. It's not really an intentional like, oh, I'm gathering information kind of play, but much more about this was my position, and therefore you know where I was, and I should be hard cleared for this kill, even if you got it like maybe 10 seconds afterwards.
What do you think about the accusing crew of killing someone based on having seen them do it on cameras?
I think that's a route that hasn't been explored by imposters that much, mostly because it's so dangerous. It's such a weird thing you have to do to get that off, because not only does the crewmate have to be somewhat near the position of the body that you report that gets reported, because it's unlikely that it's unless your imposter partner self-reports, in which case you can maybe get a hard accusation off. But you also have to realize that if you fuck up the next round and maybe get a double kill, you're the first person gone. No one on cams gets that wrong. It has to be you. You have no you have no way of backpedaling and saying, wait, they didn't actually kill, I was wrong. There's no way to escape that.
Sure. Plays like that feel like they must be very strong with like 8 left alive, though, where you don't need... Maybe you do. I don't know. There's some point in the lobby where you reach a breaking point, and it...
I think that
there isn't enough time left in the game for it to bite back.
The best time to do it is on 6 or 7, because then you can pull it off really well. I think that if you have an imposter partner who self-reports a body on, let's say, vitals of Polis, and you're a person on cams, and then you can immediately say, I saw someone else do it that was maybe alone, because you could spot them on cams. But I think that's a very underexplored option.
Yeah, I was playing in a lobby last night, and we entered a round of 6 with 2 imposters alive, and someone led the meeting by saying, I'm really suspicious of this person. And then another person said, well, yeah, I actually just saw them make this kill on cams, and a town voted immediately 10 seconds into the meeting in a round of 6 without hearing any other evidence. And the person on cams wasn't like hard cleared at all. It just
I think that's
just a win already.
That's the ultimate method of using it, and it's not used that often because it requires so many things to go right, and so many things to go wrong for town as well.
Yeah, I'm always hesitant to throw town under the bus with lies as imposter, because I think people are transparently town a lot of the time when you lie about what they're doing. A lot of the people I play with are obviously town when they're town, and obviously imposter when they're imposter.
I definitely agree with that. It's like two different people.
Yeah, and so that makes it very easy to beat them when they're imposter, because you can just tell. Mm-hmm. But it also means that if you are imposter and you create that logical scenario where it's your word against theirs, all of a sudden they become like superhuman and you can't beat them because everyone can tell that they're sincere.
Yep. It's a very difficult place to be in. It was actually really bad in the beginning of this game, back before they had the ability to turn confirmations off, for me to play imposter ever, because I had a reputation in the lobbies due to scans and everything showing, right? And weapons and everything. I would be able to full clear like 6 people and probably deduce the imposter almost every single time in the beginning of the game. So whenever I was imposter, and I got somebody wrong, or I didn't offer up that information immediately, and I was somehow not being as effective as town as I normally could be, I was voted off almost instantly as imposter, even though I was still playing okay, because it was less of a social deduction game and much more about an information gathering game.
Yeah, it feels like against those people who become superhuman when they're town and you accuse them, you need to convince the other people that they're the imposter before they realize you're doing it.
Yeah.
Because once the other people think they're imposter, then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they don't recognize that the defense is
my my method for that is to put sus without saying it's them. I'll say, wait, what do you mean you were doing X, X, and X? That timeline doesn't line up. And then what are they supposed to say to that, right? Like, wait, but that's exactly what I did. And then people are like, does it really not line up? And they form their own conclusions, and then maybe next round you can push on it. But I think same round pushes off of information like that tend to backfire more than they tend to help you as imposter.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch the rest of this. This is I can't remember what happens from here. Happened in this game because he's such a fucking monster when it comes to like everything pretty much. Yeah, his reads, his overall game plan, everything that's involved with that. I'm talking about McConnell and his camera usage. He very rarely gets it wrong, and he's on them for so long that as imposter, you have like such a limited route of things you can do. So right now I'm using the doors to block off the town into areas. They're all stacking like crazy, actually. Means I can't do anything. Oh, I do remember how I got this. Okay. I was very, very hopeful that my imposter partner there would not kill XQC. I was very glad that he didn't. That'd have been pretty ugly. Ah, I forgot that he was here.
We're both on weird parts of the map.
So here's my strategy. I'm going to call O2. I'm going to push the town away from the left side of the map where I'm pretty sure they're all stacking, and I'm going to wait for the first person to walk by and then kill the person behind them, and then hope that a report comes by relatively quickly. Obviously, I wouldn't want to self-report here, because then I would have been near the body as well.
Oh no. I'm not hearing you through Discord now, but I hear your stream.
Can you hear me through Discord right now?
Yes.
Good.
Yes,
good,
now
good.
I can.
All right. Well, let's just watch the rest of this.
Okay. I'll go back to the.
X is dead.
I called that because I had to call that because I'm worried about kill cooldowns and double kills. And
I think that's completely fair.
I seen XQC not even that long ago, so
Where?
The O2 got called, right? He goes into cams, and then I just go straight to top O2. I'm the one that does top O2.
Cams.
Wait,
So
there are four of
I
us
last
here,
seen
I
him in
think.
cams.
Yeah, I did bottom O2. I was there first, did it first. Who walked in on me? Who was that?
I did, and I turned around because I saw you and
Bloody
someone else
walked in.
already on
Me
it.
and Bloody.
Where's Annie? Where's Annie? Where's Annie right now?
I'm in reactor, but
You're in
XQC was
reactor?
You're in
not
reactor?
in
Okay.
cams.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case,
voting
I'm like 90% certain that Annie's one of them. I'm not sure about the other one. I want to
It's
discuss
not
that before
me.
we go further.
Swizzy,
Swizzy, where you saw him go
I
into
did
cams,
top
right?
O2.
All right.
Yeah, he went into cams, yes, and then I went all the way right to top O2, and I'm the one that did it.
I don't know when you saw him go cams because I didn't see him at cams, I didn't see him leave cams, nothing like
Did
that.
anybody see Swizz cross cafeteria?
No, I
Success
didn't.
was the first half, and then I lost him after I got lost.
I want to say it's I want to say it's probably
Bloody
not
and Annie were
Swizzny.
hard following. Bloody and Annie were hard following me the entire game. I kept trying to lose them like early game, but I don't know.
And then you saw
Yeah, who was
XQC,
watching
and then
that?
there was
So the problem is I'm okay. I'm okay if we're like if biggest sus is on Annie. I have to call this out though. Easy. Where have you been though all round? Like where did you go at the start?
At the start, I went right side, and I did my second part of my where you flip the thing sideways. And
where did you end up?
I ended up in O2. I checked admin table.
Where you flip
Here's the
thing
problem.
Which thing?
Can I say
So
something about the
I think the combos
the
are
camera was on
the right above shields.
The cameras were on for a long time. Me,
Yeah.
Bloody Swizz were on top of each other.
I'm
We were
voting
dancing in front of
Annie.
cameras, everything. I went there because the cameras went turned off. He wasn't there when I went left.
I feel like
Nobody
that's
was left when I went
no.
left.
We got a
I
voter.
actually think it's easy.
I actually got a
They
vote.
went
Annie.
off.
I'm voting
Why are
Annie,
you
but
saying
if
it's me
it's
when
I guess.
I've done all my tasks?
It's not me.
It is.
Why would I admit I'm in reactor after
I'm pretty
someone
if
sure-
it's
says
genuinely
cams?
not Annie, I think it's easy
No,
and
it's
someone
not
else.
me. I wouldn't say
It might
I'm
be
a
easy,
reactor.
Yeti. I think it might be easy, Yeti. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So that was just a little bit too easy because the town kind of all sheep voted there, and Bloody had her own suspicions for some reason that just kind of all played into my hand. It was so silly actually because looking back at the logic that was put out in the meeting, there was none. There was actually none because
Yeah.
Annie's admitting that she was in reactor when the person was last spotted alive near there. Why would she do that as town, right? And Swizzny apparently is just walking through the cafeteria. Nobody even asks where I am. Like the conversation was just completely meaningless. But because of the previous rounds and the fact that Annie was kept alive by my foster partner, because I was never going to kill her. The last person I wanted to kill in the entire game was Annie or Bloody. One of those two were the last people I wanted to kill. XQC was my number 1. McConnell was my number 2. And then we're in this circumstance where it's just so easy to dominate the conversation and kind of push the town in the direction you want them to be.
Yeah. Do you think in Annie's shoes you are meant to lie about your location there?
The second that you hear that the person was last spotted in a spot like that, yeah, the number one thing you want to do is lie. You cannot afford to, as town, be near that location. Say that you were walking through storage, anything but reactor. Absolutely not. Not because now, bear in mind, if I was in a lobby with you, Hafu, 5UP, XQC, and like 5 other people, and they were all really good players, like Train, I might admit that I was actually in reactor, but I wouldn't say it like her. I'd be like, yeah, I was on the Simon Says task. I didn't see him there. I'm actually worried that that's a misreport of a location by Swizzny. Now, in the end of the day, I would be third impostering there if I said that last part. But, you know, it's the only thing I can do as town, because ultimately my information's so bad because I'm in such a bad location.
Sure. And I mean, I guess the first thing to do is don't be there.
Yeah.
But that gets into the whole thing about stacking versus you know,
actually
moving around the map so the game can actually be played.
What I would actually say is I was looking for the body. Why did you hit the button? Because that would be what I would actually be doing.
That's a very town thing to be doing, yeah.
Yeah, because I would say the second O2 gets called, I run from whatever task I was doing before, and I check the entire left side, electrical, cams, reactor. No body found. Why did we hit the button? And then that's when you can start to like maybe redirect the conversation towards the people that are actually suspicious from before. Because you don't want to be in a circumstance where your alibi is, oh, I was going to O2, but I didn't get there. Because that's actually the worst possible location you can be as a town.
Yeah.
So lie. Literally lie. In those circumstances, anything to get sus off of yourself in an efficient way, play like an imposter in that circumstance. Lie about what you're doing. Because you can't afford to be doing that suspicious thing. You will be voted off. The town is at 6. There has been no one voted off. You will lose. You don't have a choice.
What do you think about... There was something else I wanted to ask you, but I don't remember what it was. But this thing, so Annie is away from the group in a way that allows her to be framed here. It could maybe have allowed her to be killed. Oh, I remember what the other thing was. We'll get to it next. What do you think about, like, is that a good place for her to be? Should she be looking for a body there? Sometimes
Yes.
in some of my games, we've gotten to a point where you call the emergency, and then you just stand on the other side of the map, and someone from town runs into you, and you press the kill button because they like one person goes looking for a body by themselves on the other side of the map and just walks into you and dies.
Yeah, I would say that that's definitely a concern, but depending on whether or not the button is being hit, the emergency meeting, it can just be good, to be looking for the body. Because if the emergency meeting is hit and there's like 3 people that did the emergency, like the reactor or whatever, then 3 people that were not there and 1 person that was there, and therefore it was the person that was not with the stack.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you, you mentioned not wanting to kill XQC and cams earlier in the round. And from my perspective, the reason for that is that you are the people on cams. The cams lights are on. And so when XQC's body shows up in the cams room, it certainly looks terrible for you, plus all of towns on the right side of the map. But I just wanted to say that out loud for people who are watching and might not make that deduction on their own.
Yep. XQC was my alibi. He was my town friend as imposter. The last thing I want to do is kill him in a location when I know other people are on the other side of the map. Only when I call a sabotage would I want to make a play on him, because then the comms are muddied from there.
Sure. And you want him alive if you're going into a meeting where he's going to defend you.
Exactly. It was
by
only
the time that you kill him, you can create a meeting where he's not needed anymore.
Yep.
Basically.
From the moment that I killed him, I knew that the town would be in a bit of chaos. Swizney would be sussed for the death of XQC, but Annie just happened to be in the worst possible location, and I pushed on her instead.
Sure.
So if Annie was not in reactor, I would have said, I saw Swizney coming from the top left of cafeteria. And then he can be like, wait, I didn't see you. And I'd be like, yeah, but I saw you because I was at the bottom of admin or some other location, and I saw you come from that direction, and that's where the XQC was last spotted alive. And then we can work on it. But because the emergency meeting was hit, and Annie was in such a bad spot, it just all played into the imposter hands super easily.
In the meeting, you said you thought it was a good button. Do you actually think it was a good button?
No, it was horrible button.
Okay, yeah.
It's not the worst button, but you want to give at least 10 seconds after that to make sure that somebody can try to find the body. Because if XQC's body is found, it's better for town. Now, the real question is, because it's on 6, and you hit the button because you're worried about somebody getting killed on the left and then everyone having to go to the right, how long do you wait? And that's the bigger question, as town. Do you give it 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or do you just insta-hit the button? Because on this map specifically, with all of the door locks blocking your way from getting back to the emergency button, how much time can you give yourself reasonably before the imposters have double kill and they kill 2?
Do you think it is better for town if another person dies before the meeting starts there?
So if there's 5 people left? It depends on who died. Because if Bloody died, if Annie dies, wow. At that point, I need to push it on Swizney, but I felt like his alibi was really strong.
Okay.
So I would have been in a worse location.
It depends on how strong their alibis are.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that it seems like 3v2 is worse than 4v2 because you have fewer crew, but you also have one less crew you can accidentally vote on, and one less crew who can accidentally be misled and vote wrong. So
I think that when you're considering those options, you also have to consider the chance of getting a vote tie. Because depending on the strength of that person as town, you might be able to convince them to vote wrong. And as long as both imposters can team up, you vote tie, and then force a double kill situation, which on certain maps is guaranteed, on other maps it's harder.
For sure.
So I've noticed that a lot of people mess this up, but on Polis, if you are playing imposter correctly, you never mess up. You will always get the double kill. You can't mess it up, actually. You just go to the left reactor. One person goes to the button. One person stands in front. And the person that's at the button kills first, and then the person in front kills second. That's all you have to do.
Can you... I feel like town can speedrun that.
They
I
can,
feel like one town can get to left, one to right, and one to button.
and I've definitely messed it up
It's,
before, but it
cooldown.
has a success rate of like much higher than anything on Mira or on this map, Skeld.
For sure. Sometimes, like,
Actually,
I
now that I'm
have
thinking about it,
audibled
Mira
into
might
lights
have
in
the
my
highest
life.
percent chance of getting the double kill.
In that one, you call reactor and you just stand on one side of it. And also, it takes like 25 seconds to get there through the airlocks anyway.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
And then in Skeld,
You close the cafeteria doors, which is what I'm
Close
about to do.
doors,
So I'll show you the ultimate Skeld strategy. It's the only way to make it work 100% of the time.
All right, I will. Your stream crashed for me, so I'll refresh the page, and then I will play your stream again.
Yeah.
Oh, I have an ad.
I'll just wait.
You know about Hardee's Prime Rib reimagined?
No, but I've heard of Cactus Jack from Travis Scott.
I'm gonna sub to your channel so I never have to watch an ad on it again.
Yo, Chris
What other
Venture,
people
thank you
should
for the
do.
tier 1. Lamb's Respite, thanks for the
Don't
prime.
like ads?
Apologies,
Sub,
guys.
Support your streamers.
Hey, Jorbs, thanks for the tier 1.
All right.
All right, you're good to go?
Yeah, I'm pressing play right now.
I think it's easy
No,
in
it's
someone
not
else.
me. I wouldn't say
It might
I'm
be
the
easy,
actor.
Yeti. I think it might be easy, Yeti. I'm not sure.
So you close the cafeteria doors, and the timing is typically really easy from here. You just have to determine which door they're stacking on. And you can insta-hit it or wait, depending on what they do. So I'm going to give it like 3 seconds, and then boom. The game's over. They can't win. Even if they all ran there from the very start, they wouldn't be able to get there in time. So it's a guaranteed kill. Ta-da!
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But that's only guaranteed on 5. On 6, obviously, you need to both get there and then hope for the double stack properly, but it can be difficult depending on the timing. I found that the best way to do it is to just be next to somebody, and hopefully your partner's next to somebody, and then you just spam as soon as kill cooldown's off.
Yeah, and then there's like sometimes you both kill the same thing, and and then
I lost a
sometimes
game
someone
yesterday
gets
to
a
that.
report in, and they're like, "Oh, it's very obviously these two."
But as long as you spam it on CD and neither of you checks the button, it should work 100% of the time. It's only when somebody checks the button, which puts your CD a little bit further, that it can be messed up at that point. It's like hard.
One of my favorite wins ever was when I was in a 1v5 after my imposter buddy got voted off in something that was close to a 50-50.
Ooh.
And I just like called reactor on Mira, ran into the airlock, 2 people stayed on button, and I just killed one of the people who came with me, reported, and said it was a failed double kill. And we just voted off the other 2 crew, and I won. It was great. It's incredible.
That's awesome.
Plus. All right, that was a sweet game.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, like any other concepts?
Oh gosh, let me see if my chat has any requests. I haven't opened up.
Hey, Terra Sunset.
To chat questions at all. We didn't get a good game with like high suspicion imposter play. That's something that I would like to look at some point, although I don't want to do a third right now.
Oh, I
because I'm
thanked him,
running out of
Jurassic.
brain
Thank you,
juice.
though. This is actually a good question my chat has. What are your personal opinions on playing slightly weaker as town to make it easier to play imposter? Because I think that some people are actually taking that a little bit too far.
I do not try to maximize my win rate when I play this game, really, which is
not really the interest of why you play.
Well, yeah, I'm in like personally as a gamer, I'm in a weird place where I played poker professionally for a long time and was very competitive and just got burned out on that competitive toxic element of gaming. And so now I'm very chill. I like collaborative gaming. I like the thing we're doing right now where we're talking about a game and analyzing it. I absolutely love this.
Yeah, doing
I love
3
the social
crafting
aspects of gaming. I don't really care that much about winning, but people see that I'm like pretty good at games, and a lot of people assume that I do care a lot about winning. I just like actually sort of don't. So a lot of the times that I'm playing Among Us, I am more interested in like, oh, I'm going to go this way because I don't
It's
really
not the guy
want to
that-
be stuck with 2 people this entire round. I think that's not going to lead to a very fun game, or
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that. I think a lot of the time at high level Among Us play, to like actually answer the question properly in the way it was intended, I think once you get to a high level of play, you're not so much weakening your town play as you are successfully balancing your like deceptive range. So an example I would give is a lot of people might go hard clear themselves on medbay all the time when they're town.
Mhm.
But an effect of that is that if you have not hard cleared yourself on medbay as town, it looks very suspicious because usually you do.
I agree.
Whereas if you're not a player who goes and hard clears on medbay all the time and you're in a suspicious situation, you can be like, well, yeah, I'm suspicious right now, but I'm not the sort of player who goes out of my way to hard clear myself all the time. It's not super atypical for me to be a little bit suspicious. That doesn't mean we have
True.
to vote me out here.
I think that's a good point, and that's actually the mentality I have when it comes to quote unquote hurting my town play. Because I know that there is, in theory and in practice, a method to more or less winning every single game as town, which would be to say, basically as soon as the round starts, you all go to the button and you hit the button, and then you say who has medbay, and then everybody goes to medbay scan, and then you get all the confirmations from medbay scan, and everyone's stacked there, and they're just watching and scan canceling and watching and making sure that everybody does it. And then you just go as a giant group to every single task, and eventually you get down to like a final 2 spot where you know who the imposters are. I think that's a method that you could use to theoretically be the strongest possible town, right? Where you dictate all these different things to do.
Absolutely. It would be hard to beat that.
Yeah. But in truth, there's these unspoken rules, these gentlemen's agreements, if you will, about what's permitted and what's not. For the gameplay, because there's a certain like personally I have the skill set to, and I did this by accident yesterday, to confirm people based off of taskbar. I know how to do that. It's not hard. You were watching that one?
Yeah.
I felt so bad. I have the ability to do that, and I don't want to do it, but occasionally my eyes will drift up, and they'll see something happen, and I'll be like, crap.
I used to be there. It's been like 2 weeks for me, though. I just stopped doing it. I just stopped looking at all, and it feels so good.
Realistically, I should probably just like have a little thing there that so I can't see it myself on my screen, like a little piece of tape on my screen where the taskbar is supposed to go, so I just never look at it ever again. But I sometimes have that happen, and in my mind, it makes me a weaker town, but ultimately that's not really the point. And also, I used to immediately go to, I think when I first started playing with the EU group, with Hafu and everyone, I would immediately go to the lights every single round. And I would be either on the cams or I'd be pre-jacking lights. But I realized that with that stack, they became so reliant on me doing that if I didn't do that, I became instantly sussed out. And as an imposter, that's not like the easiest thing to fake doing every single time. So I would rather experience more ways of playing the game, so I stopped doing that, and I started doing tasks, or I started running around and checking admin table early. I have like a little pattern where I randomly choose one of them in my head, that I'm going to do that round. So I'll still occasionally go and pre-jack lights and camp cameras, but I won't do that every game. I might not do it every 5 games, but I still will.
Yeah, I have by far the most games on Paulus. I would say that like 90% of my games are on Paulus lately.
That stack loves Paulus.
Yeah, and I like to like control the center of the map on Paulus, because as imposter, the vents are just very good from the center of the map. You can get to medbay and admin through vents, and you can get to cams pretty easily from the central building.
Yep.
And also you have the admin panel there, you have vitals there, so it's a great place to be a town. So I usually try to path through the center of the map early there. But I also just press tab at the start of the round and look at where my tasks are and just like make a decision about where I'm going to go based on where most of them are, and that just leads to me doing lots of different things.
Yeah, I love doing that as well. It's just a giant thing of like, it's kind of like balancing the game, just in terms of like what you get to do as a player, because you could choose to do the same thing every single time, and therefore put suspect on yourself as town, or basically full clear yourself. But there's a point where you don't get to experience the other forms of play, and you don't get to have as much fun with the what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree. I have a question for you.
Sure.
What do you think about speaking with votes? So, by that I mean snap voting at the start of the meeting, or putting a value vote on someone at the end of the meeting while everyone else is skipping.
Speaking
or,
of votes,
or
so
when you're like halfway through a meeting, if someone makes a really good point in an argument in a 50-50, boom, your vote goes down on the other person and everyone sees it happen.
I think that you have to do it sometimes. And when I say have to do it, I don't mean like it's required or anything like that, but rather that it should line up with how you play normally. And I'm a kind of guy that actually likes to snap vote a little bit. I'm a person that will say, I know who the imposters are. It's these two people. I'm going to vote now, and then I do, and that's it. It's over. You know? I think that it's that way it gives you a little bit of leeway in the future with how you play it, because you can choose to snap vote in the future, but maybe you can do it as imposter, or delay as imposter, and then not do it then. You know, it gives you options. Do I think it's good? Is that the better question?
Yeah, the thing that's jarring about it to me is that the vote is, it's almost like yelling over other people without ever saying a word, because the vote is mechanically the loudest thing that you can say in a meeting. And if you place a vote without listening to other people, it's sort of like just saying, like, I don't care what you're gonna say, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, and I think that it's I think it's a good tool early. I think that regardless if you're town or imposter, doing it on 9 or 8 is actually really strong. And you should do it on occasion when you feel good about something, because it could possibly lead to an early vote as town, which may or may not be an imposter, which could be really strong for you. Or it could vote off a town as imposter, and that's really strong for you as imposter. I think that on 7 and 6, snap voters, there's an abrupt change, a 180 in how and what's going on there. Because when you start snap voting on 6, you can force the town to vote with you. And that is bad, because then maybe you didn't get all the information out, and 10 seconds later, the correct imposter will accidentally show themselves, and everyone will realize at the exact same time, crap, we got the wrong guy. But at the same time, if you do that occasionally as town, that gives you the option to do it as imposter occasionally, and if people trust you as imposter, they may also feel inclined to vote with you, and therefore vote out a town member, which you can then form a instant kind of like victory from there. It's hard to say. I think that as a total, I hate it when people do it, but only on 6 and 7 or 5. Can you imagine instant voting on 5? That's just crazy to me. Yeah, unless you literally saw it happen, I can't imagine doing it. It's just a crazy concept.
Even if you saw it happen, so often on 5, it's like, I saw this person kill, and the other person's like, no, I saw that person kill.
Yeah.
And then town deduces that there's like a third party who's a safe vote.
Yeah.
And everyone votes there.
Even
and if
then,
you
yeah.
snap vote at the start of the meeting, you lost that line. So.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's just hard. It is fun though. Occasionally you just say I already voted, and then just throw out the vote and see how people react to that. Sometimes it's fun to just vote and say, like, I'm not going to tell you who I voted. I voted for the real imposter. And then, you know, it adds a little bit of like fun social dynamics for people to try to figure out.
For sure.
Trolling around can be fun.
My chat has shown their friends this analysis stream and are now regretting it because they're going to lose all of their Among Us games now. Feels bad.
That's too bad. Yo, chat, do you have any questions?
I think this is such a good game, and it's such a good game for streaming, and it's such a fun game to be thinking about, and it has so much potential with things like the taskbar being removed and med-based scans being changed, and maybe addition of more maps, and maybe like
Oh, yeah.
more unique sorts of information roles, I think would be really cool. Like not like a different role, but a different station that you go gives you some sort of information about the map, like cams, you know.
Honestly, the big question is going to be, where do the devs go with it, right? Because they have the ability to change the game in ways that can make it better. Did you watch any of the tournament yesterday?
Do you want my honest answer?
Yeah.
I was excited to see how 5UP did in it because I really like 5UP.
Me too.
He's a good person.
I'm a big fan.
So I tuned in to his games and I skipped through the VOD to the start of his first game, and 5 people hard clear themselves off nav and keys at the start taking turns, and I turned it off.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yep, that was it.
I was talking to GDayMav about this because he was commentating with me for a little while. We both think that there's going to be a point where the devs have to make a decision about where's the balance going to be. Like, are they going to add options for competitive level balance? And what does competitive level even mean? And all these different questions. Because ultimately, this game is just really fun to play with groups of people that aren't taking it, like, they're taking it very seriously, but they're not taking it, like, that seriously, you know? Like, I'm not trying to lose or troll when I'm playing the game. I'm trying to have fun and win at the same time, right? That's what I load in for. I would love to get imposter wins. I'd love to get town wins. But I'm also having fun with my friends and people that I met online recently, and I think that's a lot of fun to do.
AO question here. Can you give me a new Twitch username? Don't want numbers or my last name involved. Need Leon in it
Hopefully there
though.
will at least be toggleable options. Take away taskbar and medbay scan. I feel like those are the 2 main requests right now.
Yeah, and then if they take away the taskbar, do they remove the sabotage for comms? What purpose does comms serve anymore for sabotage? It's already rarely used.
Yeah, very little.
You know, it's for the taskbar Terry's basically at this point. That's the last bastion of its purpose, unless you're trying to get rid of the cams.
I think the reason you sabotage comms is to style on people at the end of the game. You just hit comms instead of reactor, just like as an additional fuck you.
Yeah. Dude, Leon, what the fuck? That's $50, dude.
That's about it.
Holy shit.
I had
Leon, I already gave you a new
I had
name. What
one
the hell, man?
situation where I called comms. It was actually a very rare situation where I called a sabotage as a ghost imposter. Like, I'll only ever do that if I have information because I'm a ghost and I can see something else on the map, which causes me to, you know, do something drastic. And there was a kill on the admin panel, and someone went to vitals, and, you know, they're going to see a dead body and then go to the admin panel where the dead body is. And so I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll call comms here. And that bought an extra 15 seconds for the kill cooldown to come up, and we won. And
That's so strong, actually.
yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen it do anything, though.
I've used it. So you watched the game with McConnell. I've used it against him a couple times because he will just sit on those cameras, but it tends to backfire because people realize that he's getting off of cams, he's going to be dead, and then I don't know. It's like so hard to use properly. 5UP tried to use it against XQC yesterday, but the second that he called the comm sabotage, I actually said I said out loud, he thinks that this is going to clear him because the sabotage will be fixed, and then they'll see the taskbar go up, but it's going to backfire. And then 5UP got voted off for calling comms because nobody ever does that. And that's all. That was the only logic that anyone used. They literally said 5UP's the only person that would do this, and he was the only person on a task. We're going to vote him off now. And then they killed him for it, and it was just instant. There was no thought process there. It was just no one else is good enough to even think about trying to do that. Which is like the Hafu voting me off for using doors. Come on, man. I'm just
Dumb boy, I want a new Twitch username. What should I change
just using
it
doors,
to?
man.
I got Donawald while donating during my penultimate
donation. You were just showing, and like 15 seconds into the game, you're like, and I'm just closing doors here to corral town into specific areas of the map. And I'm like, yeah, I would know it was you already.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Someone else should step into those shoes and try hitting the doors every once in a while. Come on. I just want to play the game.
You're right.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, thank you for the chat. I'm gonna.
That
go
was a
have
lot
my
of fun.
afternoon Nap. Yeah, it was.
Dude, thanks for doing this. This is actually a lot of fun to talk about the theory.
Well, I'm down to do it again. This is something that I sort of do every week, basically, on my own, is just look at games that I've played, and I'll break down the meetings and look at how much time we spent on different things, and look at the pathing during the day and stuff, and it's just really fun to look back at a game that was enjoyable to play the first time, and then see it with a second reflective set of eyes, and notice what could have been done differently, or
Yeah.
the big pivot points where you might not have noticed.
I absolutely agree. It's just so fun to think about it. I'm pretty sure that like this kind of thing like slowly evolves the play in a way that's not like lame, and it just gets more and more fun because you can really start to like get further and further into the social deduction elements of the game itself.
All right. I want to do a game where there's an imposter play where there's a lot of suspicion on the imposter, and somehow that gets converted into a win. And I want to do a game that's like almost entirely social.
Ooh.
Like there isn't a ton of logic involved, but just sometimes listening to the meeting, you just know who it is.
True.
And I really want to spend time like explaining why, because in those games, they're very frustrating games to play, especially for the imposters, because it's just like two people are like, yeah, we sort of know it's you, and then they're like, why? I would love to defend myself if you have any questions to ask or whatever. And then they're like, well, just sort of know. Like,
yeah,
there's no conversation there. So I think it would be really good to like break down exactly what the giveaway is that's happening in those sorts of situations.
I would love to look through those kinds of games as well. That'd be a lot of fun to like really dig into why it's a tell or not.
I don't have the channel points.
All right,
Can you
sweet.
fudge
Well, thank you
Volta for
joining
me?
Yeti. If you're gonna
Thanks.
keep streaming, I'll just raid you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep streaming. I'm gonna just play some Pokemon. If your chat's interested in Pokemon play.
I'm sure some of chat is interested in Pokemon. I'm sure they'd love to hang out with you too.
Thanks for the chat. That was a lot of fun. I'd love to do this in the future, so please hit me up. Like, absolutely.
All right. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll be in games again soon. And
Oh, yeah,
send
we
me a
will.
DM whenever, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
So yeah.
Jorbs is so nice. Leon, thank you for the $80. You sent me $80. What do you want from me, man? Yeah, I'll fudge Volta. I got you, man. Volta, I'll remod you in 10. Don't worry, I got you, man. Leon, if you want a new name, I know a new Twitch name. Twitch username. I don't know. Like, the thing is, I would have to get in the process of making a Twitch username with you, right? That's the problem. Because I don't know what Yetiapocalypse. I don't know if that's. I mean, I'm not opposed to him naming himself after that, but that's not really what I'd be going for at all. Yo, Jorbs. That was a lot of fun, man. I'm totally down to have more conversations like that. I think that's like a really, really fruitful way of getting deeper into the game without making it too sweaty, you know? I think that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, we're just gonna play some Pokemon. Leon, the problem is I don't know what usernames are taken in the Twitch world. Like, if I don't know that stuff, I can't like give you an accurate description of like what name you should go for. Keckley on these nuts? No, man. I don't think we're gonna run that. So what's up, chat? This is the Yetilocke, Apocalypse. You know, a lot of different names for that. Alright, see you, Alta 4. It's a Nuzlocke, so if you are aware of what a Nuzlocke is, it's where you have a limited number of Pokemon that you can catch. If the Pokemon faints, it's considered to be dead. And in addition to all of that, if your entire party faints, so you have a blackout, so my entire team dies, the run is over, and we have to restart. So, some additional rules that are not normally part of a normal Nuzlocke include, Yo!
This one is not for you, but for Mug1 Ebear. You're mean.
Thanks, Leon. And also Tommy Bahami. Who's the best Among Us player right now? Moxie, Train, 5-Up are all up there. I think Adept should get an honorable mention. Ludwig should get an honorable mention. There's a couple other ones in there that we could go over. But the basic idea is that this is a challenge run with no items during battle, so no active items like potions, X specials, stuff like that. And also we're on set mode. So typically during a Pokemon battle in the base game, if you kill an enemy Pokemon and they switch out their Pokemon, you'll have an option to switch your Pokemon in. So if I have Doritos in there, who's currently named after someone in my chat, then I would be able to switch him for somebody else, like Goofican. But in set mode, you just have to take it. Is Toast overrated? I don't know, Tommy Bahami. That's a hard question. I've only played about 15 to 20 games with Toast, and I didn't get a single imposter game with him. He didn't get to play a single game of imposter. So I can't accurately judge how good he is there. X is up there. Yeah, I would say X is a great player. He suffers from some serious issues, but as a general rule, he's very good. Can this thing kill me? I think so, right? Let's just not, let's not test it. Toast is a memer? Yeah, he definitely is. The thing is that Toast's lobbies on average tend to be a bit low skill, and I don't mean that as an insult. I think they purposely do that so that they can have more fun. They don't take it super seriously, but there's not a lot of critical thinking or stuff like that. It's very much for the content. The people there are all good friends with each other, so there's no like real competitive vibes there, you know? So to judge him off of his YouTube videos or the games that you watch and play with people on stream, I think that's unfair to the other people that are very good at the game. The sweatier the lobby, the less the strats are viable. True. Yeah, I kind of figured we'd do that. Alright. That's bad. Wait, Goofican has double kick. Aren't Hafu and Jorbs really strong too? They are. I think Hafu's absurdly good. I should be faster, but I'm worried that it won't kill, so I'm going to switch out. Toastus has a very big brain. I'll say that. Very big brain. So at the very least, he's got that going for him. I think that in sweaty lobbies, he'd play very well. He might be extremely good. It's hard to say. It's a Nuzlocke with random wild Pokemon, yes, but the trainer Pokemon are the same. That way the challenge is very properly dictated. Yep. Wild Pokemon and items are randomized. 5-Up is the best at manipulating people? Yeah, I would say he's probably the best at manipulating people. It's kind of hard to say that that's 100%, but you know. 5-Up is best at a lot of things in the game. I would say he's the best at getting the best possible kills. Train is the best murderer, but 5-Up is the best at getting the best possible kills. Oh, Cacnea. That's cool. Oh, these are the daytime Pokemon. That's why they're so different. Are we talking about 5-Up there, Kanat? Are items received from people random? No, they're not. That way you can still get HMs. HMs and other given items are still the same, to ensure that there's no problem there. This thing might be able to one-shot me. I'd rather not have that happen. Forconner's the best. Forconner's the best person. Actually, what's the word for this? What's the difference between a serial killer and a murderer? What do you guys think? Serial killers have no motive? Okay, then Connor's the best serial killer. Woo! We finally get the Dragonair. Yeah, Connor's the best serial killer. Oh. Dragonair, let's go. Good shit. Serial killers absolutely have motive? Don't ask me, man. I don't know the difference. That was just what someone in chat told me. Serial killers kill for fun, murderers kill for sport. I'm not sure if I can trust that anymore because apparently the chat was wrong about the first one. Dragonair? Fuck you guys. 3 more bodies over a certain period of time. In that case, I would say Connor's the best serial killer. Train is just a really good killer. He kills 1 or 2 bodies extremely well. Connor can stack up 4 bodies in 1 round. Game so fast? Yeah, I have the ability to fast forward. It's my dad's DS that he got from Nintendo. Kappa. And Aggron is great for training up, huh? What's my new stat for defense? Still pretty bad. But not as bad as it could be. Oh, that's worrisome. Whew. Serial killers are I almost lost my Pokemon there. If he used Iron Head, I lost. Holy shit, I thought that the 40 HP was exactly enough. That was crazy. Oh my god. That was so much more worrisome than I thought it was going to be. Holy shit. What the fuck? Alright. We're gonna... Well... Ah! That's not what I want. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to add media share. We can do some media share later if this gets boring. There we go. Can we see the team right now? Sure, Goofy. So the team is currently Astro Knight, who's almost dead. 1 second. Yo, Lamb the Dank, thanks for the Twitch Prime. Any Prime gamers? Oh, God. Yeah, I try to make it mostly a chat interaction for the stream when it's not, like, active, like, combat. Very even stat spread, holy shit. We have Astro Knight, Jackie Chu the Raichu, who's our hard carry for 2 gyms. Goobus, the Goribai. Very strong Pokemon, actually. I didn't realize how high that special attack was. Frosty J, the mixed attacker. I thought he was supposed to be a glass cannon, but he's just really good all around. Goofikin, the Blaziken, fresh, new to our team. Doritos, the Gyarados, our super hard carry. What's up, Volta? Oh, you've returned. Perfect. All right, let's get some more grinding going on. What does speed do? It determines who moves first in combat. That's extremely important in this game. Almost to a stupid degree how important it is. What'd you miss since last night, Poncho? We lost Darth Doom. The Houndoom was killed. It was very unfortunate. But we got a Blaziken from a fossil. It was crazy. We couldn't believe it. The title's good, right? Yeah, we lost Darth Doom, dude. It was so unfortunate. But these things are such good experience. Darth Doom got killed because I basically messed up. It was basically because I messed up. Not 100%, but more or less. Even with a crit, this doesn't kill me. But I'm not one-shotting you. I don't feel confident enough. Yeah, Darth Doom was really tight. Oh. Thought that was going to do more for some reason. Kylan's been VIP pretty much since the beginning. He donated way too much money to me at the beginning, and when I was auctioning off VIP slots before I actually got access to those. Yeah, basically since the first stream, right? Well, your first stream. It wasn't actually the first stream, but it was very early. How many VIP slots do I have left? Good question. I have quite a few, I think. Oh, by the way, look. We got the shirt. I am Yeti to party. But it just shows I am Yeti, which is kind of hype, actually. We got that from the Amazon stream. Bug you. I think it's going to be a somewhat short stream for today. I'm not sure if I want to play later tonight, and I kind of want to just run... When does merch go live? This is not my merch. Cat ears win? Ooh, I don't know about that. Yeah, there is a limit to VIPs, but there's no limit to moderators, which means you can technically have unlimited mods. I could mod all of you. Guys, I haven't eaten. I woke up to play with Jorbs. Or not to play with Jorbs, but to talk with Jorbs. That was my entire reasoning for waking up today.
At Mook1 Bear did this to me, referring to my name.
Loathing Leon? That's a good name. I actually like that. Especially if there's like a character in a video game that you don't like that's named Leon. That's a good name. What are you so upset about? That's hype. Mac Moran. Hey man, you're not even subbed. How am I supposed to mod you, homie? Come on, man. Come on, bruv. You have been following for a long time though. Almost a month. Let's go, man. But I only mod the people that were following in August of 2020. Smiley face. 2 VIP slots left? Is that true? Do you guys know? I have no idea how that works. Do we only have 2 left? By the time we finish the Yetilocke, everyone here will be mod or banned. Or both. Aw. Where's the Agrons? Where'd they go? Oh well. There he is. You're the experience I'm looking for. Ooh, something smells really good upstairs. It smells like some sort of breaded chicken. Loathing Leon, if you don't want VIP, you can give it to him. True. Man. Goofikin is kind of beastly right now, isn't he? Holy cow. I'll dare whoever I want to add trip. Okay, we're good. Ooh. Vagabond Jake, what's up? Thanks for the 2 months, man. Show us your primes. True. If that was a crit, would that have killed me? I should probably not take that many risks, huh? Especially on a grinding stream where we're just trying to grind up a little bit. I'm not from Philly, no. I was a military kid growing up, and my dad was a big football fan. He was a Bears fan. But he never told me to like the Bears. But I liked football. So I chose the coolest looking logo, which was the Eagles. I got a McNabb jersey when I was 6, and I've been an Eagles fan ever since then. Someone fudged Volta? Yeah, cool. Don't worry, I'll handle it. Go Birds! Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles and Steelers are cool? What the fuck who are you? Ampap, what the fuck? You think they're both cool? You're crazy, man. You're crazy, homie. Do you remember this moment? The Yeti noises moment? I do remember that. Woo, go sports and go do the thing. Score the field goal. McNabb was your first jersey? Oh, that's hype. Let's go, HR Block. He's in the pod, baby. Hopefully this one-shots with the 4 times. Oh, it's so close. You're so close, Goofikin. That's a lot of damage. So much experience, though. It's so value to farm these things. I'm so worried that they're gonna, like, crit me with a takedown and just kill me in one shot. When I hear football, you're not sure which one? True, EU folks are always confused about that. American football. We only talk about American football here. You had a Hasselback jersey when you were a kid? Dude. The Seahawks in that Super Bowl, man.
Football's played with a round ball. True, Thomas Baguette. That's also that's what we call soccer here. I'm sure you already knew that. I don't know why I bothered to say that. Sorry for being overbearing. Who won yesterday in the Among Us tournament? Train did. Yeah, Norge. Agron almost killed the Tratini. It's not really on purpose, guys. I think we just had it named soccer for some reason beforehand. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. I don't know why it's that way. Oh, that's so sick, HR Block. My neighbor was a huge Eagles fan and gave me a signed McNabb jersey, which I lost in a box set of the Eagles seasons from 1990 to 2000. Damn. That's so cool. That's so cool, dude. Sure, we just hype the Brits so much. Man. Are we going to be able to one-shot Steelix? I feel like we're not. If we had Houndoom, we'd be able to one-shot him, but Goofikin's not going to be good enough for that. This is going to be an ugly fight. This gym battle? Oh, that was like 1,000 experience points. Or 900 or something. Something like that. Nice. The word soccer was actually coined by the British and first used in the UK. Really? So that's the etymology of the word? Huh. So why are they mad at us? Be mad at the Brits. Well, everyone already is mad at the Brits, but you know how it is. Soccer sucks cock? True. I played the soccer, though. For a long time. All the way up until high school. I never really played football, although I played a bit of flag football for a little bit. I almost called it the wrong word. Holy shit, I almost forgot the L in there. That would have been really bad. Yeah, soccer is boring as crap. It's so boring. I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's much more fun to play than to watch, that's for sure. I remember when I was... Are we gonna be able to kill you? No. I'm gonna say we're not. You okay, Leon? Leon, it's just watching it's not that interesting. I enjoy playing soccer. Or football. Football. I don't think it's that... Is it really that controversial to say it's not that interesting to watch? I don't think it is, right? Are we gonna be able to escape? Uh-oh. I don't think we can. Don't get me wrong. Watching the highlights of soccer can be super hype. But as a general rule, it's not that interesting. The goals can be super, super, super hype. Especially when you know what's going into it. Because I played, so I know kind of what goes into those kinds of shots and how insanely athletic you have to be. The problem is that... Here's an interesting thing. I want to get chat's honest opinion about this. America produces some of the most absurd, pure-level athletes in the world. It really does. I don't think it's really even arguable that we do. Mostly because of the college... Mostly because of the high school and college emphasis on sports, right? But they're almost all football players, or some basketball players, but for the most part, our best athletes are actually football players, right? What do you think would happen if we got the crazy people that we got playing football to play soccer? Can you imagine? Imagine how crazy that would be. Like, that's just insane, right? And we'd be good at soccer? True, we would be good at soccer at that point. Like, think about the best running backs or the best wide receivers in the NFL. Oh, no, not T-Rex. I'm talking purely about our agility level athletes in football. Yeah, the fake injuries suck. I hate that so much. It's so boring. Like OBJ, yeah. Or fucking, I don't know, man. Like,
Let me just look up some names. Oh wait, I have a great example. Holy shit. Adrian Peterson. Can you guys imagine Adrian Peterson from like when he was in his prime playing soccer? He'd be a freak. True, Poncho. No, you're right, Tommy Bahami. I'm not saying that. Bear in mind, my argument comes purely from the perspective of somebody that's thinking that instead of playing football, they played soccer from a young age. Because most of them played football from when they were young. That's just true, right? That's just the truth. So if these guys were playing soccer and getting their... True, Bipper. But I'm just saying, like, imagine that instead of staying in just football, they, we had like a good number of these people go into soccer too. They'd be monsters. What's the end goal for the grind? The highest level is like 42, right? Can someone type in exclamation mark max level? True, Tommy Bahami. I'm not saying the offensive line or the defensive line are the people I'm talking about. Those guys are great athletes, don't get me wrong, but they're not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the agility level people. So the secondary, running backs, typically the faster running backs, you know? Stuff like that. Am I in danger? No, we're good. This should one shot. I'm telling you, man, that's so scary. Just purely because of their athleticism, they would be freaks. Like, I know that everyone talks about the crazy headers and all the other crazy feats of athleticism, but if the same people that played football, that were in those athletic positions, the agility positions, went and played soccer, they'd be freaks of nature. Ludwig's playing chess? I know. I want to be watching. Huh. Boys, I'm not gonna lie. It's nice to talk to you guys, but I kind of want to eat and watch Ludwig. Yeah, I kind of want to do that. Watch party? Nah, I want to eat. I haven't eaten anything. This is gonna be so boring. We're just grinding. We're just grinding, guys. We don't even have media share set up or anything. Let's just raid somebody that we like, and then shoot it off towards. Just shoot it off, okay? Oh, perfect. Connor's doing his subathon. We're gonna raid that. We're gonna raid our boy. All right, I'm gonna eat. I might be on later tonight. We'll see what happens. Connor might want to play some stuff. I streamed 11 hours yesterday. Short 2.5 hour stream for today. Seafoam, I can't get my food without... You know what I mean. Alright, boys. Yo, Connor's playing Among Us. You know how it is. It was a short one. We had fun with Jorbs. It's cool, right? Hydrate? Sure, man. Remind me to remod Volta if he doesn't get fudged next time that we see him. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or later tonight, maybe. You never know. We'll see. Bye, chat.